In this lesson, we'll be learning about and practicing with stem and leaf plots, meeting the requirements for TEKS 612 and 613. A stem and leaf plot is a visual display of a distribution of data values where each data value is shown from least to greatest and organized by place value. A stem and leaf plot allows you to display individual data values. You're able to see data ordered from least to greatest. You can find measures of center, measures of spread, the 5-number summary. You're able to recognize outliers, and you can determine the shape of distribution. However, a stem and leaf plot also has some limitations. Large amounts of data and a wide range of data could present challenges. You could end up with an unwieldy graph, way too many stems, or far too many leaves. So there are limitations to representing data in a stem and leaf plot. Here's an example of a stem and leaf plot. Now I've highlighted a few very important features. You can see that I've highlighted the words stem and leaves. The stem represents the tens place, while the leaves represents the ones place. So you can see the 8 that I have inside a green box represents the number 8. 0 tens under stems, 8 ones under leaves. And in fact, we can see the number 8 shows up twice in this set. Where I have the number 3 in the stems area represents the number 30. But when I have the number 3 in the leaves, and you can see the orange box, this means the number 33, 3 tens and 3 ones, shows up 3 times in this set, 33. And in fact, if you look at the bottom of my stem and leaf plot, you can see the key. The key says you read this stem and leaf this way, where I have 3/3, this is read as 33. 3 tens and 3 ones make 33. A stem and leaf plot helps you to see the total number of data points in your set, as well as how often each data point shows up in the set. I also mentioned earlier that when given a stem and leaf plot, I'm able to determine measures of center, measures of spread, and shape of distribution, and I'd like to show you how we do that here. Using this example, the stem and leaf plot on the screen, where the key says 2/2 equals 22, I'm reminded, read the stems as the tens and the leaves as the ones. So for example, where I see 22 from the key, 60 would be 60, 6 tens, 0 ones. 00 would be 0. And in fact, 0 shows up in our set. Let's begin by focusing on the measures of center. So we're talking mean, median, and mode. Now, mode should typically be the easiest one to find because mode is which number shows up the most. So if I look in the leaves to see which digits I see more than once, I find that the number 12, not 2, because I have 1 10, 2 ones. 1 10, 2 ones. The number 12 shows up twice. And the number 23, 2 tens, 3 ones. 2 tens, 3 ones. The number 23 also shows up twice. It appears as though every other value in our set only shows up once. So the mode is 12 and 23. Now let me take a look at the mean. You'll remember the mean is add all of the data and then divide by the number of data points. So I'm going to start with, I have 0, I have 11, 12 twice, 13, 14, 15, 18, 22, 23, 23, 25, 27, 31, 33, 34, and 60. Those are all the data values in my set. And in fact, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 data values. And when I add them together, I get 7, 8, 15, 20, 26, 28, 36, 41, 45, 48, 50, 53, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 25, 28, 31, 37. I get 373, which needs to be divided by 17. 34, that means I have 3 and 3 and 1, 17, a decimal. And I'm now dividing, I'm going to go to the hundredths place. So 9 would be 153, another 0, that would give me 4, another 0 would give me 1. So my 4 will not round up because the thousandths is only a 1. So my mean is 21.94. The mean, the average. Add all the data points, divide by the number of values. Now finally, the median. The median is found by searching for the middle value, the value in the middle of the set. So if I cross out the smallest and the largest, the smallest, the largest, the smallest, the largest, I'm working my way toward the middle. Small, then large, small, then large, small, then large. I end up with this value right here, being in the middle. 22, 2 10s and 2 1s. The value of the median is 22. Measures of center can be found by reading or interpreting a stem and leaf plot. So now I want to find the 5-number summary and the measures of spread. So that means I need the minimum, the maximum, Q1, 2, and 3. So the minimum, well, looks like 0, the smallest number in our set. The maximum, 60. Q1, 2, and 3. Well, Q2 is also known as the median. And if I use my strategy to cross out largest and smallest, I eventually find that the median, or Q2, is 22. So if this is the middle, then how many values are to the left or above 22? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many are above it or to the right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. There's 8 above it and 8 below it, or 8 to the left and 8 to the right. So the center would be here, right? And here. So what number sits between 22, between 12, 1 10s, 2 1s, 1 10s, 3 1s. So right here, halfway between 12 and 13 would be 12.5. I add 12 and 13 together, I get 25. I divide by 2, I get 12.5. That's Q1, 12.5. What number is halfway between 27 and 31? Right? Between 27 and 31. When I add 27 and 31, I get 58. And when I divide that by 2, I get 29. Q3 is 29. So that means my range, my first measure of spread, maximum minus minimum, 60 minus 0, I have a range of 60. My IQR, Q3 minus Q1, 29 minus 12.5. 29 minus 12.5. That leaves me 16.5 for IQR. Measures of spread, range, and IQR, as well as a 5-number summary, can all be found by interpreting the data on a stem and leaf plot. Now let's talk about shape of distribution. So shape of distribution is looking for things like clusters, peaks, gaps, symmetry, skew. I think if you look at this graph, you can see there appears to be a cluster of data right here between number 11 and number 34. Almost all of our data is clustered in this group. A cluster. We can also see that the leaves with the most data sit here, connected to the stems of 10. So 11, 12, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18 extends the furthest, forming a peak at the teens. There are no gaps. Ooh, that's not true. Isn't there a gap right here? I see 34, but then do I see any 40s? Do I see any 50s? In fact, there's no data for stems 4 or 5. In fact, my next stem doesn't show up until 6. So I would say there are gaps in my data at the 40s and 50s. Finally, do we have symmetry or do we have skewing? I would argue that it appears as though our data skews this way. In this direction, our peak, which is off-center, it's not in the middle of the graph, skews to the right as the data trails off into the 20s, 30s, and then finally finishing at 60. Now, speaking of 60, I would argue that 60 is an outlier. Simply by looking at the data, you can see that the number 60 is significantly different than the rest of the data in the set. In fact, the nearest number to 60 is 34, quite a distance away. Now, there is a way to find out whether or not 60 is an outlier for fact rather than us guessing. To find an outlier, we look for the IQR. We said earlier the IQR for this graph was 16.5. So if I take half again of 16.5, in other words, 16.5 times 1.5, I get 2475. 16.5 times 1.5 gives me 2475. If I add this value to my Q3, and you'll remember Q3 earlier was 29. 29 was our third quartile. If I add 29 and 2475, I get 53.75. If I add 1.5 times the interquartile range to my Q3, this value, 53.75, represents the furthest I can go before a value becomes an outlier. So any value greater than 53.75 is in fact an outlier, and 60 is greater than 53.75, therefore 60 is an outlier. Let's go ahead and wrap up this lesson. I told you from the beginning that a stem and leaf plot can be used to display a distribution of data where the stems represent the tens place, while the leaves represent the ones place. I use a key to show how to read the graph correctly. I also showed you in this lesson how to determine measures of center, measures of spread, the 5-number summary, and the shape of distribution by interpreting the data given to us in an existing stem and leaf plot.